Kerbal Space Program! We're back. Welcome. This is the, not a sunset thing. I mean, that's like a really crazy angle. That's like the... That's a long shadow, is all I'm trying to say. The sun does not even look like it's close to setting, but that's a real long shadow. Anyway, we were going to see if we had enough science for something. We don't. Not because we're dumb, just because we don't. We need new contracts, because we completed our contracts. Test a heat shield splashed down. That sounds like a fun challenge. Okay, here's an adapted Stallin C-10. It's for the contracts we have coming up. We have to test this big old fat heat shield in the ocean, and we just need to fly to one more place. It'll probably be really hard to take off out of the ocean. So I guess we'll just fly there and come back. But anyway, I've outfitted this with some science modules. We've got the Science Junior and the Mystery Goo Containment Unit. And what you'll do is right-click on these and just do a science experiment, kind of like doing the crew report. Yeah. What else? We're running out of parts. Fucking hell. If you can read that really small text right there, this crummy spaceplane hangar that we're in right now, you can see there's like stuff boarded up and all this nonsense. It can only support vessels that have as many as 30 parts. And this vessel right here happens to have exactly 30 parts by design, because I wanted to have more and I had to cut back. So how did I cut back? Well, I knew we needed a lot of parachutes if we were going to land in the ocean, because sometimes if you land in the ocean and you're going too fast, you just smack into it really hard and parts get destroyed and it's a big loss of money. And so I wanted to have 3 parachutes, but as soon as I put them on, we were out of parts. And I took off these control surfaces right here, which were used just to roll the aircraft. And what I've done is made it so that these up here can roll the aircraft too. So these fins will be doing the rolling and the pitching of the aircraft. Will that be a disaster? We'll see. I also wanted to point out this little tip that I've learned over time, and it's whenever you have to do a mission with a heat shield, or if you're just using a heat shield and you don't want it to be super heavy, you right-click on it right here, and you go to the ablator, and this is how much ablator is on there, how much stuff is on there that'll burn off as it's re-entering the atmosphere. Since we're re-entering the atmosphere, we don't need any ablator at all, and that can save a ton of weight. You can see how much the center of mass is moving, just me changing this, because I'm massively affecting how much this plate weighs. Alright, let's start the engines. I don't know why this is wobbling like this. It's making me a little mad. If it makes this thing crash, it's going to make me more than a little mad. But it's okay. We'll just see how this goes. What? Why are you doing this? Yep. Fins. Alright, now we're back on those wheels. Let's throttle up and get the heck out of here before these wheels kill us. Oh my god, look at him spaz out. Look at him spaz out like that. Gain speed. Come on. There we go. Alright, I'm a firm believer that the worst landing gear in this whole game are these two pieces right here that you start with. They're just absolute garbage. I cannot wait to not be dealing with them anymore. Where's our target? Oh, it's not very far. Turbulence. 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 Oh, Jesus. I pressed E. Oh my god. Alright. I thought I'd press the button to stop time warping. I didn't, and so because I had thought I had stopped time warping, I started to steer. The result was really dramatic. I'm glad it didn't rip the whole thing apart. Is this harder to fly now without the separate roll control? Most definitely. Most fucking definitely. Alright, we're pointed back at the thing again. We are entering Graula's refuge. I don't see Graula. She doesn't appear to be taking refuge. I mean, I guess I could have looked a bit harder, but I really don't see her. Let's do some science while we're here. Let's observe this mystery goo. This is a mystery goo observation while flying at Kerbin. And so, because it says flying at Kerbin, that means if you're flying anywhere at Kerbin, this is exactly what you're going to get from your mystery goo experiment. And because I'm doing it right now, it means that the next time I do mystery goo while flying at Kerbin, it won't be as high of a science value. This thing is terrible to fly. I'm gonna have to put those things back on after this mission for sure. Roll, and then pitch. Roll, pitch. So it can't roll and pitch at the same time. If you're like fully trying to pull up, then both of these are deflected up. It can't point one down and one up. Like rolling does this and pitching does this. And so if you're trying to pitch and roll at the same time, they can't be going up and down at the same time. You're gonna have to do it in bursts, I guess. Oh, look at that! Crew report while flying over Kerbin shores. Let's transmit it. We've got this antenna right here. We can transmit it back, get the science right now, and do another one over the grasslands. Perfect. Transmit that too. This, of course, sacrifices power to transmit it. We ran out of power. It's okay, though, because we're generating power with these engines. They have an alternator in them that uses the rotation generated by burning fuel to also generate power. And a car engine would do the same thing, actually. Do we yeah. No. What? Oh, interesting. So I can do another crew report right now because I tried to transmit the other thing, which makes it stored data. Huh. I'm going to use that in the future. Because normally, if you wanted to put a crew report into your stored data, Valentina would have to get out of this capsule, pull out the data, and put it back in the storage, and then you could do another crew report. But I was able to just put it into storage mid-flight, which I didn't know how to do before. Huh. Let's try to transmit it now that I have full power. See, it's taking out chunks of power every time it sends one ping of message. It's done it. Awesome. I'm going to throttle down for our descent to the KSC. We're going to be landing in the ocean, which will be interesting. I haven't done a lot of it because early in this game it was impossible, actually. Landing in the ocean at pretty much any speed would destroy every single part of your aircraft. And it's only in updates in the last, I guess, year or so, where you can actually do water landings if you're going slow enough, which I think is really great. Dive, 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 dive. Okay, stop diving. Pulled up a little too early. God, that made a loud noise. It doesn't look like we've lost anything, though, which is good. Contract wants us to test the heat shield. Yeah, just right-click, run, test. And we're splashed down. It did it. It turned green. While we're here, let's also observe this mystery goo. And because doing it... Oh, it says we're on the shores right now, which is odd. I guess we're very close to the edge, and so this isn't an ocean area. This is more of a shore area, which is fine. It gives us science from the shores. We're going to keep that experiment, and we're going to do the Science Junior here. And I only brought one Science Junior, and I wanted to do it when I was landed, because that's usually better science value than when you're in the air. And that's definitely true on all other planets besides Kerbin, but in some places in Kerbin, I'm sure maybe that's wrong. But anyway, we're going to keep that. We did some science on the shores. Let's do a crew report, because we don't have one of those from the shores. Great. Now we could recover from here, but that would be kind of a loss on some of the parts that we have. So let's see if we can throttle up and make a landing on the shore. Let's try to take off from the water first. I'm actually going to turn this down because when I'm trying to pull up, I think it's creating too much drag for us to get up to a good speed. Crucial design of this plane is that when it's sitting in the water like this, none of the engines are in the water, and the engines are usually the first things to blow up, and these air intakes are usually the first things to blow up when you're trying to land in the water. Oh, it's bouncing. It's doing something. It's thinking about it. It's almost getting enough lift, and then it's falling again. That's bizarre. Okay, what if we let this get as high as it can, we crank it all the way up and just try to do one real big deflection to get out of the water. Because the water actually slows you down a lot. Like, pushing this plane through the water is not helping it go faster, for sure. Big deflection, get the nose out. No, it's not good enough. We're going to put that back down to a reasonable level. Oh my gosh, the nose is completely underwater. We're gonna make a landfall. And either just roll back from there or fly back from there. We're going a little faster than I'd like, so I'm going to steer to... so we're not just going straight into the land. Okay. It worked somewhat. We have a very minor problem. Being that, the nose is getting stuck. Let's truck up this hill. Oh, jeez. You can really watch the shadow to see when this gear's on the ground and when it's not. That's a really pretty sunset. I've decided to opt for a full takeoff and then parachuting onto the runway because I just remembered how terrible these landing gear are. I definitely don't want to try to roll all the way there. Turn off the engines. Slow it down. I mean, of course, planes don't really turn their engines all the way off when they're going in for landing, but the plane's pretty light, so it can do it. I was a little too early. I don't think we're gonna make it to the runway. No. Throttle up. Get over there. Get. We might be able to just quite belly flop onto the old runway. Or we're gonna hit this angled side bit. Oh, I hope it's not. I hope it doesn't hurt us. Oh, it didn't. We're fine. We're fine. Turn the engines off, you silly head. That is a long shadow. Jeez. I say that's a darn good landing. It's on the runway. Nothing broke. What else really matters? Hey, look, that's Minmus right there. That's Minmus. I think. Because you can't see any stars. Whoop. And there's the mun. Sweet. Look at all the science we got. 20.7 science. Very nice. 100% value for the parts, because we're on the runway. Valentina didn't gain any experience because she's flown a plane before. That's okay. Oh, that's heartbreaking, though. We have 44.7 science. And, for these cool things, at least, you need 45. So I think we'll just have someone walk out of the spaceplane hangar, do something, just do some little science experiment, and then we'll be good. In the interview before this launch with Bob, we asked him what it's like to be in your very first mission for the Kerbal Space Program, what it was like to serve them in this time of great scientific need, and he was actually just so awkward that he didn't say anything. He just kind of looked at the reporter and then walked off the stage with about that expression on his face. But it's okay. No one holds it against him. No one expected anything different, actually, because any reporter who's ever dealt with Bob knows that getting an actual answer out of him requires, like, maybe some gifts, like a plate of cheeses, maybe, just something that shows him you're not a threat. Stuff like that. Oh, wait, you can climb that? Why would you climb that? You shouldn't. Bob, are you some kind of, like, hardcore parkour? Oh my god. Oh! Alright, we still don't actually have the science because Bob couldn't get back in the ship. But it's okay. Oh god, my eye is killing me! Alright, after this episode I'm just gonna go downstairs and use a spoon to rip my eye out. Just kind of like scoop it out, you know? Anyway, here's the science we needed. We're now at 51 science. 100% value for the parts because they didn't move. Research and development. Boom. Flight control. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, I have MechJeb installed. Because when you're doing stuff like going to other planets, it's very good for getting you to intercept those planets when there's no easy way to eyeball it. But I'm going to tell you whenever I'm using it. I don't like to use it for most things. I can even do, like, docking and rendezvous just in orbit of Kerbin by myself. So I won't be leaning on it too heavily, but in the name of transparency, there it is right there. Also, you don't get all the parts of it immediately. Like, once I unlock this case, I'm just going to have some basic functions of it. It won't be able to do docking for me until way down the tech tree. I want to get this one. It has batteries and your first probe core. And what that means is that you can start sending things to space in the way that the first people to send things to space sent things to space. It's like the first thing to go up in a rocket ship was not a man. It wasn't really any living thing, on purpose at least. I mean, sometimes bugs go on very long trips on accident because they get in the wrong place, but it's not my fault. It's not anyone else's fault. It's just the bug being too curious. Anyway, the first rockets that were actually doing things other than flying up and falling down like a firework had probes core in them, some kind of very rudimentary computer type thing that could at least perform a couple of functions during the flight. Sometimes it wasn't even detecting things. It was just like waiting for a specific time to like do something, like deploy a parachute or something. It wasn't even like reading anything about the outside environment at like the most basic level. Like nowadays, you could put something that does just that in a model rocket that weighs like less than a pound and is only like a foot tall. You could have something capable of that. Anyway, that's what this is. This will allow us to, in a very basic way, actually start doing some rocket stuff, which I think is going to be great. And then from there, we can do stuff like go out of the atmosphere and maybe try to get in orbit. Those are some of the first milestones that you achieve playing this game. So we've done it. We have it. What's on the old contract board? I think what I'm going to do is get this contract right here, which is just testing the smallest solid fuel booster on the launch pad. And then I'm going to get this one, which is testing the next largest solid fuel booster at 32,000 feet, which means that you need to get it there somehow, which I think will be a neat little challenge. Alright, so we just need to test this thing at the runway. That's it. We did it. That's all we had to do. But we have a probe core now, so once it's on its way down, we can use these parachutes to not lose all the stuff. So that's pretty good. It's going so slow! And touchdown. I cut a bunch of the chutes because it was falling really slow and I was being impatient. Okay, this is the vessel we're going to use to do the other contract. I was going to do them both at the same time, so this thing looks a little weird. Ended up not doing that because it messed up and I got really mad, and we're not going to talk about it, but here we go. That's going to smack into the ground. I didn't really think about that. Oh well. Also, it should be noted that we just did the one where we tested the tiny solid fuel engine on the launch pad, and then between completing that and doing this mission right here, I accepted the contract that is asking you to escape the atmosphere, because I think this thing will be able to escape the atmosphere. Also, I need to remember to watch my altitude so that I run this test at the right time, because I might have messed that up once. Just saying. It's gross. Oh, also, this contracts thing and a lot of the GUI should be bigger, because I thought it was hard to read earlier. So I set it to be bigger. That's how problem solving works, I guess. This thing's going off to the side. I can't really steer it because these fins don't steer, and there's no reaction wheels in this to torque it in any direction. Now we're going a little fast, a little bit on fire. Oh, I gotta run a test. I'm going too fast to run the test. Frick! Let's observe the materials bay. Okay. Science from space! Yay! Okay, we're gonna open this, and on the bottom here, oh, I have to do this while this is spinning because I don't have any control. Oh god. Oh no, I lost the thing. Right click. Get the one on this side. I will log the temperature in space near Kerbin. Science! And then I'll do, there's some mystery goo containers in here. I'll get those too, if the game would let me. Yeah. Science! Okay. We're going to do that again as we re-enter the atmosphere, because the upper atmosphere is an area, a region that you can do science in. You can do science in space, over different areas, and you can do flying over different areas and landed at different areas. And then upper atmosphere is just like anywhere that's in the upper atmosphere. Alright, now we're re-entering the atmosphere way too fast. I'm using the wrong thermometer. That one already has information stored in it. We're going to keep that experiment. We're going to observe this mystery goo in the upper atmosphere. Great. Science. We're going to close this so our stuff doesn't burn up. And we're just going to hope that the whole thing doesn't burn up, because it's going to get a little hot. But hopefully, I've set it up, yeah, so that this end it'll face down as we re-enter. It's not getting hot either, because we weren't going that fast. I mean, we were going fairly fast, but not too fast, you know? You know what I mean? You ever been going fairly fast, but not too fast? That's how fast we were going. We couldn't complete that contract, which is kind of dumb. It's because our rocket was going way too fast whenever we were in that range from 32,000 to 39,000. But it's okay. We can try again. We've made it all the way over here, which is really cool. That's probably like a distance record. It's definitely an altitude record for going way up into space. I'm going to wait till just about the last moment to open the parachutes, because I'm what you call impatient son of a gun. Is it going to fall over? It always fucking falls over, doesn't it? No. That was real gentle, though. Recover! Science! 60 science! All we did was go punch space and fall back down. Easy. Notice how it's 84.2% value because we were that far away from the KSC, which is totally a distance record. Anyways. This is behind this thing, which is weird. Alright. We tested that at the launch pad. Yeah, we just did that. Right. Okay. We just saw that. Okay, it's fine. The game's being weird because I had to retry it a bunch of times. But don't worry. Never mind. Cut. Edit that out. Anyway, we broke the land distance record of 100 kilometers and 70 kilometers and an altitude record of 22 kilometers by like a lot. And then we reached space, which I think is good. A speed record of that much. We broke that. We almost doubled that, actually, leaving the atmosphere. But whatever. It's fine. I don't care if these record-keeping people are real dumb. Okay, we did that. Yay! Contract complete. What are we going to spend this on? Let's get some bigger rockets. Okay, I got that thing. I got this thing. Yeah. I got that thing. It's got wings. Not really because there's anything we need in it. It was probably actually a stupid purchase. It's fine. It'll be fine. I'm a little mad at myself. It'll be fine. Hey. I think we can do this. Because all you have to do is be landed for this. And then for this, you just gotta land in... Oh, God, it's gonna be really easy. Let's get some fins you can actually steer. Oh. Oh, I unlocked these. I didn't even mean to unlock these, but I really like these wings. They cost the same as these other ones, but they weigh less, and in my opinion, they're not as dumb. What are we gonna do? Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that contract, and we're gonna test this decoupler splash. Oh fuck, that's a big one. Frick. I guess we're just gonna. Yeah. This is upside down, because when we throw that off, we want to keep it with us, so we can bring it into the ocean and test it in the ocean. Great. We're flying away. It's going really nicely. Boom. Ready to stage again. We can actually steer the thing now. Rocket, please. Just rocket. We're going too slow for me to effectively control this thing, I think. That really bothers me. Wait, no, I need to redo that so you don't see that shitty effect. What a cool takeoff. Jeez. Alright, now we're soaring. Kind of like that song that I'm not going to sing from that movie that I don't want to reference with the high schoolers that sing. It's doing a pretty good job right now. A lot better than my attempt that you didn't see just now, where I got really mad because the whole thing just kind of fell over like a Jenga tower that didn't have any blocks on the bottom of it. It just kind of like meow. Status report. Already going too fast for the contract speed, and we're only a third of the way to the altitude. I don't know. We might be able to shoot the gap, because once we run out of fuel, which will be very soon, we're going to be coasting up, and maybe drag of the atmosphere will slow us down by the time we get there. Once all these things are green, I need to click run. I need my speed within that range. Oh, I bet you can't see anything because it's night. It's okay, there's nothing to see, it's just a rocket. Our speed is not low enough yet. We've got like 7,000 meters to slow down. Oh, I think we're gonna do it. We just need to slow down below 300 before we get to 39,000. Oh my god, it's gonna be close. And Do it right now! We did it. It turned green. That thing's blinking like crazy. We've done it. Now, all we have to do is do some science in the upper atmosphere, because that's what cool kids do. We're going to open this service bay right here, which you should be able to see just a little bit, because there's like some glare from the sun, even though it's nighttime. Upper atmosphere, great. We're going to log the temperature. What? Oh yeah, we did already do all this science, didn't we? Never mind. Close that up. Are we headed towards ocean? I can't tell. I can't even tell what my fins are doing, so I'm not really sure which way's up. I'm not convinced. Screw it. You're out of here. You're fired. I now have no steering at all. Which makes me a little sad, but not like really sad. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be fine. Is this gonna open? The ground's rapidly approaching. Okay. We got the difficult contract done. Just getting this decoupler out into the ocean and decoupling it will be easy peasy. Here comes the ground. You don't want to be time warping as you approach the ground, because sometimes it'll make the physics mess up and just wreck your stuff. Let's observe some goo. As you can see here, I observed the goo with a capital O. It was like really important observation. Let's log the temperature here. Nice. Science. Nice. That's a lot of science in that one thing. Wow. That was a fast night. I've learned lessons from the past. I'm not going to record during the night because you can't see shit, and it's frustrating to watch. I know, because I watched it after editing it, and it was like, wow, that's frustrating to watch. Oh yeah, we completed that thing. Yay! Okay, we need to test the jet engine landed and get this big old decoupler into the ocean. And I can think of a really dumb way to do it. Baby's first reaction wheel. Aww.